I mean, if you've got questions, go ahead and ask them, but just, know that we're recording right now. And I can start my spiel all over again because, hi, I'm Robin Kearney Frazier. It's Tuesday morning. Isn't this great? Monday in reverse. Original live video I had to delete when I ran into technical issues. I have a very, very old computer. It's made by Altex. It's a tower computer when Altex very first opened, that I have been upgrading and updating probably for 14 years now, because I think that's how long Altex has been open. I know my son was very young when I got it, but this morning it decided that it could not handle everything that I was trying to ask of it. So we're going to start over again here. This is Tuesday Topics. This is our first edition of it. We hope to be doing this every week, and we're open to additional topics, and we're going to ask that you put them in the comments below after you watch the video, during the video, just to give us some ideas. We are planned out through the end of October, so any new ideas will happen into November. There will be no videos the month of January. That is when Guilds of Requiem takes basically time off from everything in the public so that we can recoup, regroup, and plan for the year. Today we're talking about creating graphics with freeware. As always, anything that has to do with education is primarily sponsored by the Scholars Guild of Requiem. That is one of our primary missions, is to be able to share knowledge. And we're basically a teaching organization. That's one of our driving goals and philosophies, is helping each other succeed by the sharing of knowledge. I'm going to go over today what the different apps that are available, the pros and cons to using freeware. I'm going to try, hopefully, show you all PixArt, which is my preferred creation app. It is kind of a pain in the butt that my preferred graphic animation app is Pixaloop, and they are not Windows based. So I have to kind of I won't be able to show you using it, but I will show you their website, because it involves me having to basically email myself a graphic to use on a mobile device so that I can get Pixaloop to animate it, and then I send it back to myself for publishing. I'm going to cover charging for your work. Basically, it's how to price to be competitive while still creating revenue for yourself. My biggest thing on that is know your worth. If you know that you are able to hand draw things and turn that hand drawing into a graphic art, or you've got the ability and the tools to use a fancy paid program, you have more worth. Your graphic designs and your talent is worth more than someone who's just basically, yeah, I can do that for you real quick, and I'm just going to modify a bunch of images, throw them all together for you, and create it that way. But we still want to be competitive while creating revenue for ourselves, while not overcharging our clients. When you find that good little balance between how much I charge and how much clients are willing to pay for my work, you can have some amazing relationships. And then we're also going to touch real quickly why it is very important to own your graphic work. So there's two sides to this. One is as the graphic designer, and one is the customer who has paid you for that work. So those are the basic topics for today. I'm going to escape out of this. I use, in all my doings and drawings and meandering around, I use what's called PixArt. My daughter-in-law turned me onto it. It is a free program. It does have paid options, premium paid options. It does have premium paid options, which gives you more tools, more creativity. I like PixArt because I can have this on my phone, I can have it on my tablet, I can have it on my laptop, and I can have it on my computer. So that means I'm able to create no matter where I'm sitting. Even if, I keep forgetting which direction I need to go. As you can see, I like to have a creative outlet. PixArt is something I can come with me. I can use them as a storage database to save work for me, so that I'm not having to constantly repeat myself on something, and it helps my life go a lot easier, a lot smoother, a lot faster. Um, the pros and the cons. The pros is it's available across all platforms. If you've got an Android, you've got an iPhone, if you're on a Mac, if you're on a Windows, you can even go to pixart.com, and they have an online version of their product. Things that kind of suck about it. About a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, when I was originally going to start this project of Tuesday Topics, I was all geared up, had a bunch of people in attendance, and PixArt updated their Windows project in the middle of the night with no notice. I was totally clueless. What you're seeing on my screen now is not what it used to look like on the Windows version. I've been working very diligently to try to learn all the changes and to give them helpful, constructive feedback in saying that, you know, this filter isn't working. I can't stretch it. I can't manipulate my photos my images like I used to in the old one. And they are very good thing about PixArt. They are very, very responsive to feedback, especially when it's given in a positive, constructive manner. And I find that goes a lot further with people than saying your product sucks, you need to go back to the way it was. Tell them what sucks about it. Give them feedback. That is something that they are looking for as developers, is how can we make our product better? What is broke on our product that needs fixing? And that goes for anything and everything that you're doing. Be constructive on it, be able to give them specifics other than I just don't like it. You know, that's really awesome feedback that people who are artists and app designers, they are an artist in their own way in how they create things. They are a crafter in what they do. So what I'm going to do is, real quick today, while I have this up, is I want to make a banner that's going to be recognizable for everybody. Anytime that they go to our YouTube channel or they're looking at our page, they're going to see that banner and they're going to go, yeah, that's something new that I can go learn from. So we're calling it Tuesday Topics because we like alliterations. So what I'm going to start out with is they have, you need to pick your backgrounds. You're building in layers. Their relayering function is kind of tricky yet and still not fully working. So I've given them that feedback saying, hey, you know, this isn't working. So with them, you have a choice of photos that they have for free use. You are free to manipulate these. You are free to use them even on a commercial application. So that is very, very awesome that they're only going to show you things that you can use for free with your free deal, and that people have given permission. You know, I'm sure this gal created this or somebody created it of her. They gave PixArt permission for others to be able to manipulate this photo. So that's really cool. It does have templates, so if you're looking to make something something specific, you can use their templates. As you can see, this gold little crown right here, that indicates that it's a premium, available only on the premium version. I am not currently happy enough with their Windows-based product for me to have a premium version. It still has a lot of little bugs in it that need to be fixed. Once they have got those to my high standards, then I will pay the monthly fee again. The one that I tend to use is I go straight to the editor. You can see that it's got my profile. These are all the different works that I have done on PixArt. You can see that I have it broken down into collections on how things are done. And then if I have a URL, well, if there's a photo I want to go get, always be careful that it is available for freeware. I prefer to do my search through Google or Bing. I turn the filter on to make sure that it is free to be used in a commercial application. when I'm creating for myself, I'm not making money for myself, but I am promoting it. I am using I'm using it for commercial purposes. So I always need to be aware of that. Y'all are going to get a little bit of a peek into how Robin's brain thinks while she drinks more coffee, and how I arrange things. I'm working for Guilds of Requiem. Merchants Guild has to do with all of our online presence, our marketing, and everything else. So that's where I keep all my clip arts for it. I'm going specifically for a background. Let's see, what do I have under my green? Well, I only have one under the green on this one. What do I have under blue? Yeah, I think I can make this one work. Take over my whole screen with it. And I select the photo, I select next. Second thing I need to do is I need to create any text that I'm going to use. They do have text in here. They do have a text option. I'm currently not happy with it. I find it very difficult to edit using their text function. I also find it very limiting. So I do, oh, come on, I really don't want to come to Facebook. There we go. Come on, give me a new screen. And I do apologize again. My computer, when I'm trying to do videos and stuff, it is very, very slow. It's an old computer, but it works. And that's the biggest key. No matter how slow your technology is, if it works, keep using it. So to create my text, I use a online app. It's free. It's a free website. It's called cooltext.com. And they are very easy to use. I can then turn around and save my preferences. So say I've got one of my musician clients, he has this specific font that he absolutely loves, that he's trademarking it as his font so that he's recognizable. And a lot of when you're creating graphic design, that's what you're wanting to do. You're wanting to make sure that you're creating a brand for that person. You're creating an image for that person. So this particular person always likes a specific font. Guilds of Requiem, we have that nice little curly Q font that's it's called Librit. It's off of cooltext.com. Any font that is used on cooltext.com is downloadable. So that is another reason that I like Cooltext. Come on, catch up to me, computer. Well, I foresee a lot of editing in my future on this video. Ah, that's what it is. It's trying to think. Because I had picked my photo and it went back. It's still thinking over there. Well, patooey. Let me see if I can close some other stuff down. No. While it's still thinking, let me show you Pixaloop. So I can close some of these other things. Like I said, basically I create all my layers in PixArt, which is a photo editing program. Then I switch over to a photo animating program. There are programs out there that will do both, but they are all paid programs where they allow you to create an image, to create a graphic, and to edit and to animate it all in the same place. Oops, come out of the way. So when I put in Pixaloop, it's going to show you that all over on the side, all the similar ones. What I don't, like I said, what I don't like about Pixaloop is all they are, it's only available for Android and for Apple. I may start looking at some of these other ones that are able to use on a desktop. Maybe I'll luck into one that's like PixArt that also has an online app, online presence that I can actually go in and manipulate my photos online and them online. But like I said, Pixaloop, it says it's a photo editor, but it's very mild in what it will edit. You have to already have your full photo or image that you're going to use created, because all it does is it just adjusts the color of it. It can go through and it can recognize that this back here is the sky, but it doesn't always capture all of the sky. I'm going to close this so that we are getting a little, so I can show you the Pixaloop website. This is the different types of level that you can do when you animate a graphic. You can either be very generous in how much you're animating it. Just make sure that you're not over animating it. So if it is something in your photo or your graphic that shouldn't be moving, freeze it so it doesn't move. I've used it a couple times for very subtle ones. There's a picture of me where I'm holding an outstretched hand with some smoke and a dragon in it. All I animated was just the dragon and the smoke, because that made sense to what I was trying to get through. I do have some other ones where it has a lot more animation. When you look at Space Station Requiem, you're now going to start seeing that the Rift is animated, especially if it's a scene in the storyline where a ship is coming through, which is happening right now. Expect to see it animated in the background a little bit, kind of indicating that the Rift is active. So that's why I'm using it for. But yeah, right now I'm very happy with Pixaloop. Even as a free product, if they come out, Pixaloop, I hope you're listening. If you come out with a Windows-based version, I will gladly pay every month to be able to use your product. But I need to be able to use it on my computer, because I'm not always editing on a mobile device. So that for me is a very big key factor before I decide whether I'm going to pay for a product or not. Pros of freeware. Let me do that real quick. Pros of freeware. They're free. You don't have to pay for them. A lot of them are very good. Some of them not so good. But there are there's a lot of competition out there by these app crafters and designers that they want to convince you to subscribe to their app every single month or annually or whatever, because that's revenue for them. So they are kind of going above and beyond with their free apps on how much can we do, how much value can we give potential customers for free to entice them to make that extra commitment to a paid product. So Pixaloop and PixArt, they're, for all the negativity I'm about ready to blast them on, they are both very, very excellent. Pixaloop and PixArt, your customer service is fantastic in its response time. Even if somebody is using your product for free, your staff is very, very helpful to even people who are technically challenged. So please do not ever leave that or forget that you've got people who are not technically challenged using your programs, and that your customer service, your reps are able to communicate to a person at their level of understanding. So the hazards of freeware, you're limited. You are very, very limited. Like Pixaloop is only available for mobile devices. I've got to get it from the iStore, from the Apple iStore, App Store, or from Google Play. It's not available for me to use on my computer. I do a lot on my computer, so that's something that I'm working with and trying to work around, and giving them feedback. PixArt. let people know when you're going to update your product. It's a customer service thing. Don't just release a new update. You know, my first, I wanted to do this video 2 months ago, and the morning that I logged in to start these Tuesday topic series for our Merchants Guild and for our Scholars Guild, Pixat had updated in the middle of the night, and it was very, very frustrating that I can now not teach anybody else how to use a product or convince them to use this product, to purchase this product for their own usage. So back to now that Cool Text finally came up. So I am creating for Guilds of Requiem. I'm going to create a header for our Tuesday topics that I want it to become branded and iconic to what we're doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is our branding we have 3 specific fonts that we use. We have one that is ornate. We have one that is bold and out there. And then we have our everyday text. I try to keep that Arial, Times Roman, Times New Times Roman, whatever it's called right now. I'm having a minor drop here. But I want to be consistent. As I was stating earlier, I don't remember for this one or this one, I have a musician that he's got a specific font that he loves. That's the font I use for everything on him. He's got a specific look. We have a specific look. What I like about Cool Text is all of their fonts are available by name alphabetically. So I don't have to sit here and think of what was the name of it, how do I find it? I write down the name of what it is. I have a log that I keep for everybody that I do graphic design work for on what they have chosen as a font they like. If they come back to me and they say, I really don't like that font, I can go in and I can tell them, hey, go to Cool Text, look at all the different styles, find me the name of the font that you like, and we will utilize it. So once I've picked Librit, and once again, you can download the font, so that helps branding all the way through. As long as the computer program or app can access your font files on your computer, then Oi! Das sprechen Sie nein! Das sind Wutje! Shut it! Sorry, I have dogs, and we have a dog running around in the yard, running around on the property, and so my dogs have to bark at it. What was I saying? You can download the font. If a program or an app can access your font files, you can now use that font in everything. I can use our font on Word, I can use our font on Excel, I can use our font on PowerPoint, WordPress, Publisher, any of those programs that I can download onto my computer that access my font file, I can now use our branded font. We are recognizable by this font. When I use something when I put Guilds of Requiem or one of our deals not in this font, people sit there and they're like, I'm not quite sure what's wrong with this, but there's something wrong with it. The second thing that you want to do in your branding of yourself is determine your color scheme. What color scheme is representing you as a brand, or the company that you're working with as a brand, or the client you're working with as a brand. Guilds of Requiem itself is nature-based. We view ourselves as custodians of the land. So we decided that we wanted to keep all of our color scheme for anything that says Guilds of Requiem. We wanted to keep it organic in nature. So we wanted blues, greens, and browns, because those are what's people associate with Earth. You got the blue sky, you got the green trees, and you got the brown dirt. It works for us. When we decided we're going to brand the marketplace, we wanted to use still our same logoing, our same font, but we wanted to have a color scheme that is going to stand out and be more noticeable. So we decided to go with yellows, orange and reds, very vibrant colors. I think there's a little bit of a hint of purple in there as an offset, but for most part, anything that has to do with the marketplace is going to be in that color. Additionally, we've got 7 guilds. We have the Agrarian Guild, which is anything that has to do with growing or raising, self-sustainability, all comes out of the Agrarian Guild. We have our Crafters Guild, which is pretty much what it is. If you are a crafter, if you are creating something, even our performers, our bards, we consider our bards our crafter because they are crafting a performance to give to people. That's our Crafters Guild. Our Guardians Guild is there to keep everyone safe. This is physically safe. It's also to keep our company safe. That's where our risk management is. So before any time a new product is released from us that's carrying our branding, it goes through our risk management first. It gets a risk management review. Before we do an event, it gets a risk management review. Before we do anything, we ask our risk management specialist, what is it we need to do to make sure we're to minimize our risk and our liability. Creating graphics, first thing that they do is they check to make sure nobody else has copyrighted the image, any part of the images that I have used, that we've used. From there, we have our Merchants Guild, which it has to do with the selling of things. So if we have somebody come to our website and they're just selling off of our website, they're going to be involved with our Merchants Guild because we want our customers, our clients, to be involved with the process of selling their product. It's a team situation. It's not just, we're not out here just to sell your product. We need to make sure that you know how to sell your product too, and that you understand the branding behind your product. Our social media, our website, and everything, that's all under Merchants Guild. Will you two stop it? The weather has the dogs wound up, and they're all starting to realize that Jaja is no longer with us today. Wicked has been moping around the house, and yeah, it's a rough day here today. After our Merchants Guild, we have our Resources Guild. That has anything to do with human resources, human and humane resources, the running of a business, the locating of assets, the distribution of assets. Anything that is considered a resource comes from and is managed by our Resources Guild. Scholars Guild has to do with anything teaching. Somebody comes to me and says, I've got 20 people that I need to get first aid certification. They go to our Guardians Guild. I've got people I want to get first aid certified. Guardians Guild comes to Scholars Guild and say, how can we help them in the most economic way? None of us are certified to teach at this time, but we know who is. It's just a matter of networking the two together. Our final guild is our Technicians Guild. That has to do with anything building, construction, electrical, mechanical. That is our trade group. So if you are in a trade skill, have a trade business, and you're looking for someone to kind of help network you out, please talk to us about it. We've got big plans for the Technicians Guild that we've kind of set on the back burner for right now. A bunch of our guilds are on the back burner because they're not high priorities, but they are eventualities. So back to the branding of us. Each of those guilds are going to have its own branding. They're still going to keep the same font, but we're going to give them their own different color schemes. Scholars Guild, every time I think of scholarly, I think it's either an older building, or it's elegant, or sometimes it's even more simplistic. So I have chosen my font of Librit. I can now see what all their different logos look like using Librit. I remind myself that I'm using a blue background. So I want to make sure that a color that I pick for the Scholars Guild is going to stand out on that. So that's going to, black and white are always going to be colors in no matter what color scheme. But I'm probably going to see, hey, what can I do that's maybe fancy with it? So I'm going to look at this starburst here. Is this going to help it stand out, or is this going to be a bigger issue? I think that's going to cause bigger issues. I like that it's green, but I think because I've got white spots on there, it's not going to show up very well. Give me a second here. I need to let them out. Sorry about that, I'm back. Let me go back to what I was doing. Well, that was annoying. Wait a minute. For the Scholars Guild, I am looking for that elegant, old world feel to it, even though I might have a back. Get out! Looking for an old world feel to it that's going to look good on pretty much any background. Epic Stone is my favorite, or embossed, or muddy, or one of the other ones. I like it because you can change the color easier. You can manipulate it in a lot more ways than some of the other ones while still having a very branded look. Something being in stone or carved into wood is very old world looking, and that is what we're looking to go for. So then it's just a matter of creating my words. I usually save it in several different ways. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it as Tuesday topics, the whole thing, because I sometimes never know what I'm gonna use it for when I'm creating a whole bunch, but I do like to have a whole bunch of the same font and style already saved up. It makes life a lot easier for me. I'm going to come save it in my clip arts. I have one that's specifically Tuesday text. That's text. So I'm going to do this 3 ways. Save my title 3 ways. I'm going to have it where it's the whole thing. I'm going to have it where it is the individual and the 2 individual pieces. Let's do 9 a.m. live at 9 a.m. Okay. So because I'm trying to save processing power, I'm going to go ahead and close this down because I already know that I've got everything I need to make my header. Second thing I'm doing is I'm going to come over here. I know that I'm trying to make a Facebook cover for our events. So this is going to automatically size it out for me. They have not updated since Facebook changed some of their sizing requirements and minimums to give us a Facebook event header. It's either a Facebook post or a Facebook cover. So I know that anything that I create on the 2 sides of this are not going to be seen. Second thing I want to do is I want to make my background fit the entire area that I'm using, which is really cool because this means that I can actually get multiple uses out of a single background. I can, line it up as a right there, gives it a different look. I can give it there. I can extend it out even further if, say, I'm wanting more of just the dark color. I said, yep, okay, maybe I like it right there. Gives me a nice little bit of detail and interest without being overbearing to what I'm trying to do. I think I want to go with a little bit darker though, right there. So the second thing I can do is I can then come into the background. I can adjust it, and you'll see everything here is on the left-hand side of the screen. I can make the picture brighter. I can make it darker, which is always very helpful because then you get the most mileage out of your backgrounds. Okay, so the second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my Tuesday topics now up here. I'm gonna go up to my photos. I know I have not used this before, so I'm gonna have to upload everything that I'm using, which means I come back to clip arts, I come to my text, and I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do the individual ones on this so that I can give it a little bit of depth and different feel and look to it. So with resizing, I want to make sure that my lettering's staying about the same. Makes it easier to adjust. And then I'm going to put my last little bit here. I don't know if I've got my sponsored by guilds on here, but I am definitely going to look to see if I have that. Here, ready to post. No, I got to try and remember where all my other all my other text is. And as you can see, I have multiple places that I hide text on here. Some are easier than others to locate, others not quite so easy. Social media, there we go. Sponsored by guild, there we go. Because I need it to be sponsored by the Scholars Guild. Add it in here. As you can see, the font that we have, the color that we have on our font, it disappears. So I can come in, I'm going to adjust it, I'm going to make it brighter. And so it looks like it kind of blends in. I think I'm going to blend some of the colorization so that it's the same color as my font above. So there you can see it looks like it's a nice cohesive unit. You wouldn't know that I grabbed these at different times and created these at different times. And so that's a simple graphic for you. Let me see if I can get it to go in onto, well, no, I don't think Facebook is going to let me do it. And this gets put under the Scholars Guild, puts under tutorials. And I name it so I know how to find it later on. And later on, I'll go in and I'll adjust it for Facebook. So it's pretty much the easy way to do it. And here's what I was talking about, where I want it to be saved private. I don't want somebody taking my work and using it for themselves or manipulating it. So I'm going to save it private. That means I can come to I can go to my tablet later on, and I can add in a little bit of animation, which I might do, because anytime there's stars and stuff, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of motion in the background. The Facebook headers do not allow for it, but when I'm putting it into a PowerPoint, which I try to do so that I stay on topic, stay on task, then it can be, it can be an opening for us when I go to video record and I have my PowerPoint already up and started. When I hit record, people will already be able to see it. So that's kind of pretty much the best, easiest way to do it. I think I've already talked about charging for your worth. Why is it important knowing your worth? If I forgot that topic on how to charge for your work and how to price things out, please let me know, and I will do a video update or an ad or something, or comments. Biggest important on why it is important to own your own graphic work for your business. And graphic designers, you need to understand this. I end up mediating a lot. We've even gotten hit with something from somebody who used to do graphic work for us, saying that we needed to take all of their work down off of our social media and our website. The problem with that is they were paid for the work, whether it was financially, they had a monetary, whether it was bartered for, they were paid for the work. I was able to go back into text and show that they agreed to do this work in exchange for that. That means, as a business, I now own your work. From now until eternity, I have the rights to that work, to what you have created. And that is only fair to the company, because if the company were to have to do all of its rebranding and creating new logos every time that they had a fallout with somebody, they'd go bankrupt. So understand that as a graphic designer, you can say, yes, this is my work, but the person you created it for, who paid you for it, whether it was monetary or material items, they now own that work. And I can't stress that enough. That's also why it's very important to make sure that you're not using somebody else's work when you're creating your own graphics, because they can come back and say to you, no, this little part of your graphic I own. I created that. I copyright it. However they can prove that they were using it before you were, this is to help you avoid any legal troubles, legal future issues. So always make sure that you understand when you're creating a graphic for somebody else and they are compensating you in any way, shape, or form for that work, they now own it. The branding process, the rebranding process is very time consuming and it is very expensive. We're in the process of rebranding a couple of our brands. We've been using this downtime to slowly roll all the changes out, but it is very costly. It is very time consuming. You have to rearrange everything that goes even on just a simple label to reflect the new branding, the new look. Okay. So please just remember that when you are creating for somebody else, they own that work. If they have compensated you in any way, shape, or form, they own that work. This is why we try to keep all of ours in-house. We try to create all of our own graphic work. I do have sometimes where I will outsource it and they're being compensated for it, but I make sure they understand that we now own their work. Even as a student, if they're just doing something for me as a student and I'm teaching them, I have given them the time of teaching them. They have been compensated. I have given them, I am teaching them how to create a graphic. They have been compensated for that graphic. So it now belongs to Guilds of Requiem or whatever it was, or Haven of the Dragon, or whichever one it was that they did. Gamers Guild, Space Station Requiem, Crafters Guild, and those are, all of our public ones. We own all of those because we created them ourselves in-house or we compensated somebody to create them for us. So that is all I'm going to do for today. Please, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments. We do check our comments here on YouTube. Hopefully next week, what I plan to present next week, and I don't have it open right now to remember what the topic is. I will try to list out all of our upcoming topics with their dates. If for some reason we don't go live, then expect within sometime that day to see the video going up, because we have technical issues. We do live out in the countryside, so our internet is not always the best. If we've got storms or whatever, it adds to our problems, technical problems, but we still learn how to work around them. So if that means it's just getting updated late versus being live at 9, then that's how we'll work with it, how we roll with it, and be organic and everything. So I am going to stop here, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to stop recording, and I'm going to say thank you all. Have a wonderful, blessed, safe week.